This book has changed my life. Just give me a minute if you don't believe me. This is my habit tracker, and I'm going to show you how I set it up today. But before I do that, I want to tell you a little bit about it. The reason I started tracking my habits using this habit tracker was because I used to break my habits all the time. I used to quit them within a week, or they were either too complicated or too long, or sometimes they just didn't stick. I gave myself one rule: build a habit tracker within 5 minutes. And somehow, this book is the only thing that I actually kept using. This has helped me stay consistent to what actually matters to me and stop overthinking everything. So today I'm going to set it up and show you how I use it. I'm also going to tell you a little bit about this habit tracker and why I think it's a little bit better than any other habit trackers that I've used before. Let me show you how I set up my habit tracker for the year. The first thing I'm going to do is put any information here that helps people return the book back to me if it gets lost. I'll do that off camera. Now what I'm going to do is show you how I actually set up the inside. The first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is put the month up in this top corner. So right now it's currently March 31st, and I'm going to start this book for April of this year. So the first thing I'm going to do is write April up here. April 2026. After that, there's 30 days in April. So I'm gonna go make a column on this side for the amount of days. So one of these boxes per day. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, now that that's done, I'm gonna put a line across the top here just to make it look a little bit nicer. And I'm just gonna write a title here. So we want these to be memorable moments. All right, once we've done that, this side is pretty much complete. Now we get over to the fun side here. This side is where our habit tracker really starts to take place, or take shape. So what we're gonna start off by doing is we're gonna make a little grid pattern here. So we're gonna extend this line over to the other side now. And we're not gonna put it all the way to the end here, and I'll show you why in a minute. We'll start about there, and we'll bring that line over about this far. Okay. And this is where we're gonna put our habits. Our habits are gonna go up here, and we're gonna track them every day of the month down here. Over here, we're gonna put our sleep chart. So this is gonna be a really cool graph that we can see at the end of the month, and I'll show you guys that in the future. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put a line down on this side as well. Okay. Now that we've got our line here, we can start filling in the habits that we want to track. So the first habit that I've started to track recently is my weight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little weight column here. And I'll flip it this way so you guys are able to see. So that's going to be our weight. And we're going to track this every day. And I'm actually going to give this a little kind of 2 of these squares here, just so I'm able to write the full number. Okay. Then I'm going to go down here, and the next habit that I want to track is cold exposure. So I'm going to write that here. Now for me personally, I have a marathon that I'm running at the end of April. So the next thing I'm going to want to track is exercising every day. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down here. Okay. After exercise, I've been tracking my steps for about 2 years now. So I try to get at least 10,000 steps every day. So that's going to be my next habit here. So I'm going to say 10,000 steps. Another habit that I've been keeping track of for the last few years is how much I've been reading. I've been trying to get at least 10 pages in every day. So that's what's going to be our next habit here. Something that I've been wanting to get into a little bit more this year is meditation. So that's going to be my next habit. Another thing I've been doing for the last few years is journaling every night before bed. So that's going to be my next habit here. Something I haven't been too good about the last few years is really talking to my friends that I used to have in high school. This has kind of been a hard thing for me to do as I've gotten older, moved away. I want to keep in touch with those people. So my next habit is going to be talking to a friend. One of my goals for this year is to stay off my phone as much as I can. I've been tracking my screen time over the last few years, and a goal of mine is to keep my screen time under 3 hours. So that's going to be my next habit here. I've really been focusing on my diet for the last year as well. So what I'm going to do is, for my next habit, I'm going to put added sugar. And what I want to see is no check boxes in this column here. Now I know I haven't filled up this whole column here yet, but what I'm going to do is leave some space for myself to add some new habits that I want to track for the month. And I'm going to jump over to our sleep tracker. So let me show you how I fill that out. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn that sideways again, and I'm just going to run a line down the page here again. Okay, and the cool thing about this is once we've filled in our sleep tracker, it's going to be like a cool little graph here, and you'll see how we keep track of this. So what I want to do is I want to put hours I've slept. So here I'm going to put a check, and then another tick, and then another tick, and then another one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this book sideways here, and I'm going to put the hours that I've slept each night. I'm going to start with 9 here. I'm going to go 8, then 7, and then 6. Hopefully I don't get below 6 hours of sleep each night. That's going to be my goal here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my sleep score here. And this is just a number that my Apple Watch gives me each night. So I'm going to be able to track my sleep score along this column here, and then the amount of sleep that I've gotten every day. And we'll get a cool looking graph at the end of the month. And actually, before we wrap it up, there's one more thing over here that I want to add. And this should probably have gone right here next to weight. But since I didn't think about it early enough, I'm going to put it over here on this side. And what that's going to be is my body fat percentage. I've been tracking that a little bit this year since I've gotten a scale that does body fat percentage, and I think it's a helpful number to have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it at the bottom here, just because it's kind of separate from these things. It should go up here with weight, like I said, but I didn't put it there. So I'm going to go ahead and put body fat here. So this is how I set up my habit tracker each month. I'll do another video showing you guys how I fill it out in the future, and we'll actually see all these memorable moments, and we'll see all these X's start to take place here, as long as that sleep score graph that I've been telling you guys about. So I'll do a follow-up video on that. But thank you guys for kind of coming along with me and watching my journal setup video.